All right, it's Father's Day. You know what that means. And that means SEC coaches and programs and actually several other teams, maybe across the country, are calling Kirby Smart, telling him Happy Father's Day. Of course, you know that Kirby Smart has turned Georgia into a powerhouse and they are crushing a lot of teams in the SEC. And it's Father's Day. So those coaches, those programs better be reaching out today because by the time you're watching this video, the day is almost over. He's probably heard from a lot of teams. And that's what I'm going to talk about in today's video. How Kirby Smart is doing this. Why he is beating these teams over and over and over again. But I think, the first team that should be reaching out is Georgia Tech. We heard what Brent Key said to some of his Georgia Tech boosters earlier this week, talking about how much he hates Georgia, right? It is their Super Bowl. Every year they play the Dogs, and Kirby Smart has had no problem, making sure they are little brother or, making sure they know that Kirby Smart's the dad in the relationship there. Of course, they did beat Kirby Smart his first year, but since then, it's kind of been an onslaught. Georgia's won the last 6 games against Tech, and 5 of them, Georgia's won the game by 21 or more points. Georgia's only lost to Tech 3 times total since 2001. Georgia leads the all-time series 71-41-5, but you all know that, right? But it's what they've done lately. Now, I know Georgia Tech has, they played Georgia tough last year. It was a cute little game. They tried their hardest, but, the game was never in doubt. And Georgia Tech is recruiting better. They're doing what they need to do, recruiting in the state to get to where Georgia is. But in no way is Kirby Smart not Georgia Tech's dad. It's weird to say that, but, again, it's Father's Day. We're trying to make the connection. So I'd say Georgia Tech should have been the first team to call Kirby Smart. Second, let's say Auburn. Georgia's 16-3 since Auburn since 2006. Kirby Smart has lost to Auburn just one time. That was in 2017 on the road. A game that didn't really matter because Georgia would go on to beat Auburn in the biggest Georgia-Auburn game of all time in that SEC championship. Since that 2017 SEC championship, Georgia's won 7 in a row against the Tigers. 4 of those games were by 21 or more points. Georgia leads the overall series 64-56-8. This was a rivalry that was back and forth. That overall series was neck and neck. It will never, in my opinion, get to that again. That's just how it is. I think Georgia will continue to play Auburn every year, as they should. But this is not going to be a one single year turnaround. It's still going to take probably several years and a lot of hard work from Hugh Freeze, not only on the recruiting trail, but in the transfer portal every year if they want to beat Georgia anytime soon. I don't see it happening. They don't have the quarterback on the roster right now. I don't think they've got a quarterback committed, in my opinion, who's good enough to beat Georgia. We'll see, but Kirby Smart is Auburn's dad right now, and again, that's weird to hear. Sorry, it's Father's Day. I'm going to keep rolling with it, right? You got to make some type of connection. Auburn's definitely on that list, and again, they need the quarterback, but they need the defense to play better too, and they're getting guys. Hugh Freeze knows how to recruit. He's bringing in some good players. I still don't see a scenario where Auburn beats Georgia anytime soon. A lot like Georgia Tech, they don't have the depth. And I know Auburn tries to play Georgia tough here and there, but a lot of these games, they're not close. The game is over somewhat quick. Even last year, Auburn played them hard. Georgia ripped their heart out at the end. They won the game. They were the better team, especially in that fourth quarter. And that was... and that's one example of how you can play them hard, you can give it everything you have, but then Georgia says, you know what, we're Georgia, you're Auburn, we're going to win this game at the end, and they took it from them. So we'll see what happens next year. I don't expect Auburn to come into Athens and win that game. They haven't beaten Georgia in Athens since 2005. It's not going to happen in 2024. Moving on, we could put Florida there, right? Florida did beat Georgia and Kirby Smart his first year. They did it in 2020, but it's getting ugly and it's kind of getting out of hand. Georgia's won 6 out of 7 against Florida. Kirby is 6-2 against the Gators. Probably gonna be 7-2 after next year. In 2021, Georgia won by 27 points, 34-7. In 2022, Georgia won by 22 points. They won 42-20. In 2023, last year, Georgia won by 23 points again, 43-20. These games aren't really that close. Georgia had big wins. Obviously, they blew them out 2017, just annihilated them, just bent them over, start spanking them, right? That's what a father does to a bad child, or a child acting out. Maybe in this era, this culture, that's frowned upon, but Kirby did that to the Gators in 2017. He won big games against the Gators. Those are two good Florida teams, 18 and 19. And of course, the last 3 games, they're not even close. They're barely competitive. I'm snacking in the press box at the half. There's no stress. There's no drama. Everyone knows who's going to win the game. And it could be even worse next year. Before I keep going, also Georgia won by 19 in 2018 and by 35 points in 2017 and 2019. Yeah, that was close, but Georgia won it at the end with some big plays down the stretch. Collegebronze.com. Listen, Father's Day is here. If you didn't get your Bulldog in time for Father's Day, that's okay, because it's still summertime and you want this Bulldog. I'm telling you, out on your front porch, out by the pool for the summer, and you want it for the fall. When football season runs around, you want to have this #1 Bulldog statue on the market right in front of your house. Let your neighbors know that you pull for the Dogs, okay? And you can get a discount today. Everything's in that description below in this video. Don't miss out on the discount, DAWG when you order. Not if you order, but when you order. I'm telling you right now, it costs money to go to Lexington and to go to Oxford this fall and to go to Tuscaloosa, right? To go to Austin, Texas. Need your help. Need your help getting there. Make sure you purchase your Bulldog today. Again, everything is in the description below in this video, and get the discount. That's very important. Moving right along, because we could pick just about any team, right? But we could talk about Missouri. They don't matter, right? And the Georgia fans, kind of said that last year. That game against Missouri in Sanford Stadium, that was a good Missouri team. That was a better Missouri team than I think Georgia fans, expected. Not the craziest, loudest environment, but it's still as good as Missouri is and is becoming. They don't matter to Georgia fans. They just don't. They're just another team, and it's still hard for Georgia to get up for them, even though they play Georgia about as well as anyone not named Alabama and LSU. Those are the only 2 programs that are not calling Kirby Smart today to say Happy Father's Day, right? LSU's beaten them twice, 18 and 19, unless I'm missing another one. Of course, Alabama has done a great job beating Kirby Smart and his Dogs, except for that national championship. Maybe one of the biggest games, and the 2 have ever played. Georgia came out on the winning end, but they really need to beat the Tide this fall. There's no excuse not to. You talk about South Carolina. I mean, they don't really matter either. Kirby 7-1 against the Gamecocks in 2016. That was a bad Georgia team, and they beat South Carolina 28-14. They won by 2 touchdowns. In 2017, South Carolina played them hard, 24-10. Georgia win. In 2018. Not so much. In Columbia, Georgia mopped the floor with them. That was 41-17. Felt like it was a lot worse than that. Of course, in 2019, we know what happened. Double overtime. Jake Fromm played horrible. Tyler Simmons dropping the ball all over the place. Rodrigo Blankenship missing big kicks. They lose in double overtime to Will Muschamp and Travaris Robinson, who is now on Georgia's staff. But ever since then, it's just not even been close. Georgia is just crushing them. Like Tennessee. Have I talked about Tennessee? No, I'll talk about Tennessee in just a second then. In 2020, Georgia beat South Carolina 45-16, in 21, 40-13, in 22, 48-7. And then South Carolina played Georgia tough last year, but they still lost by 10 points. Okay, let's talk about Tennessee, because that's another team that should be calling Kirby Smart. They should have called him this morning. I know they beat Georgia on a Hail Mary in 2016. That was a long time ago. Since then, Georgia's wiped the floor with them. These games are not competitive. They're treating Tennessee like they're Vanderbilt, like they're South Carolina. In fact, South Carolina's played Georgia tougher than Tennessee has over the last 7 years. Georgia's beat Tennessee 7 years in a row now, dating back to 2017, when they just went up to Knoxville and just owned the place. They own Knoxville right now. It's basically Athens North. They won that game 41-0. In 2018, Georgia won 38-12. They won by 26 points. In 2019, 43-14. They won by 29 points. In 2020, 44-21. That's a 23-point win. In 2021, 41-7. That's a 24-point win. 2022, biggest Georgia-Tennessee game of all time. Georgia wins by 14 points. Felt like it was more than that. Georgia crushed them, beat their brains in. A garbage touchdown by Tennessee late in the game made that score seem closer than it was. It was never in doubt. Georgia was clearly the best team from start to finish and beat their brains in, although it only looks like a 14-point win on the scoreboard. It was bigger than that. And then, of course, last year, Georgia had no problem going up to Knoxville and winning another game comfortably, easy. Again, I'm snacking in the press box. These games they're fun to cover for me because, again, there's no stress, there's no drama. I'm not writing the story after the game ends. As soon as the game ends, boom, I hit send and have my jobs done. It's great. I love when Georgia plays Tennessee because it's an easy work day. Tennessee had the long touchdown run, and that was it. Georgia went on to outscore them 38-3 the rest of the way. They won that game by 28 points. So if you're Tennessee, you should have called Kirby Smart this morning. Happy Father's Day, Kirby. Maybe we'll get you at some point down the road. Maybe not. We'll see. But a lot of schools reaching out to Kirby Smart, blowing up his phone on this Father's Day. I hope you're having a great Father's Day as well. For the ladies out there, hope you had a great Mother's Day. All right, I'm not leaving out the ladies because we love our female audience. Y'all are the best. All of y'all are the best, actually. Get your Bulldog today, by the way, promo code DAWGPOST. Get it for the summer. Make sure you get it for the fall. Thanks for watching this video, and I'll see you over on the website.